Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We are back at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Wow, that's a mouthful. In the Formula 4 for yet another track guide. If you are new to my channel, what we do is a hot lap, a breakdown, and we are back in the cockpit one final time driving line on. Any questions, let me know in the comments, and let's start the hot lap. Alright, let's go. So, up to 5th gear, looking for the 100-meter sign on the right just before the bridge, tiny dab on the brakes, back on the gas nice and early, there's loads of runoff room, even hit a little bit of mud like I did there. Leaving it in 5th gear, looking for just before the 1 cone, back up to 70%, down to 3rd gear, long trail off, gently back on the gas as you can see. Right, we see the Honda sign, and we start our turn in. Just kissing the edge of the grass there. Up to 6th gear. While looking for just after the 3 cone. And we're going to brake again up to about 75%. Down to 4th, down to 3rd. Gently on the brakes. Back on the gas. Gentle. Very, very slidey around here in these conditions this week. Up to 4th gear. Little dab on the brakes as we get to the outside. Gently back on the gas again. Again, another very, very slidey corner. Up to 5th. Little dab on the brakes. Back on in 5th. Now we're going to brake hard, not particularly long. Up to 4th. And over and across the line. This is using brake balance bias, 56%. And we'll do the breakdown lap now. Alrighty, breakdown lap. Alright, so first braking marker in 5th is the 100 meter on the right hand side. You can just see there. So as we get there, we're only braking up to about 20%. We're going to trail it off very quickly. We're getting back onto the gas well early in the corner here. And you can see that I'm wanting to be back on 100%. There we go. I get back on 100% gas before the curbing actually starts to separate the main track from the pit exit. We're just wanting to get our left-hand tyres as close to that curbing as possible. As I say, it's going to send you out wide, but you're carrying the most speed. You can take a little bit of mud here on the outside of the track. Absolutely fine. Next braking marker is going to be between the 2 and the 1. Oh, wow, it's actually just before the 2. Always felt as if I was braking later than that. Just goes to show. So, yeah, just as we get to the 2 cone, this time I'm braking up to about 70%. Wipe that speed off in a straight line. Trail it off, drop it down to 4th, drop it down to 3rd. I'm still trailing off the brake here, as you can see. Drop it down to 3rd, still on 2% brake. And now, as soon as I come off the brake, I start getting back on the gas. I don't just floor it. I'm not Louis Foster. I don't have the skill. I gently go back onto 100%, nice and early on in the turn. Apex late, exit wide. I don't know why I'm wearing red gloves. I will change that for next week. You just noticed. Right, next braking marker for turn 4. It's just after the 3 and just before the 2, or at least I thought it was. Yes, it is. And we brake here up to about 75%. This is where having the right brake bias is important. Now I'm running 56, and you can almost hear my fronts locking up here. You could brake earlier and less to avoid it, or send the brakes a little bit more rearward. Anyway, I come off the gas just before the curbing and the apex here. In 4th gear, drop it down to 3rd at the apex. I start getting back on the gas as soon as my car's settled. I leave it in 3rd, and now just before I start coming back towards the curb on the left-hand side, brake up to about 50%, and again, another trail off. Because of the way that this road's running here, because we're about to go over a hump whilst going over a corner, very, very slippy because your car becomes very light. So you've got to be careful on the input of getting that gas back on. And then we can go back up to 100% once the car's settled, and I've opened that steering, as you can see. So the next brake is basically just before the end of the white line, as you can see, before it sort of gets a bit darker. And we brake up to about 20%, long trail off, still in 3rd gear. As we hit the apex here of turn 6, we're at sort of 2/3 pressure. Then we get back up to full gas. We can now short shift up to 4th. We want to take some curb on the left. And we're going to go through this curb, and then basically as soon as we straighten our wheel, once we've gone through this curb, we're going to get back on the brake. So as you can see, I'll straighten the wheel out, and then as soon as I do that, I'm on the brakes up to about 25%, kind of holding it around there, leaving it in 4th gear so that when I pick up the gas now, I don't immediately just lose the back end. Still a bit slippery because, again, we're going over a little crest as part and parcel of a corner, whatever. We're going to go up to 5th gear, just before the crest. Now we're going to start our turning at the 200, as you can see, and then we're going to lightly dab the brakes, heading up to about 13%, as you can see. Still had a bit of maintenance throttle on there, and then we're trying to pick up back on the gas. So we're on 100 as we leave the curbing here of turn 11. Get back over to the right-hand side, and basically as soon as you see me straighten the wheel, the end of this curb on the right, and then on the brakes up to sort of 55%, and now I'm just trying to slow the car down, get back on the brakes again for the second part of turn 12, which is actually the entry of turn 13, dropping it down to 3rd. I'm on sort of 2/3 gas as I leave the curbing, and then straight up. And there we have it. That's the breakdown. Right, we have one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking.